Hey Bill, and thanks for participating in the Brewer e-coaching experience. Thanks for sending in your swing. As I watch your swing here, it looks like you're working on something on your takeaway. So you're trying to keep the club out in front of you and your hands up, and this is really our first meeting here, so I haven't had a chance to really interview you and kind of figure out what it is you're working on, but it looks like it's definitely something with your move away. Alright, so let's take a look at what we see here from a postural standpoint. You have a nice tilt from the waist going forward. Got an appreciable amount of knee flex right now, trying to counterbalance some of the weight that's a bit forward. I'd like to see you get a little bit taller from the chest up, let your arms hang down a little bit more comfortably and a little less knee flex, and that's going to give you a little more room for your hands to kind of hang underneath your shoulders and not be so tight to your lower body. I think that'll help you with your balance position. And other than that, your right foot is drawn off the line a couple inches, which encourages a better turn. That's something that we're going to take a look at as well. Okay, let's do this. Let's up someone that we can kind of compare some certain things to, and see if I can find somebody here that might be a good study. I mean, this is not the most perfect golf swing in the world, but there's a lot of things I like about what VJ does. Like what we talked about, his chest is up a little bit more, his arms have more room to hang, and it gives him a little bit more room between his thighs and his hands, like kind of what we're seeing right there. One of the things that I really like about the way VJ moves away is that he uses his body pivot to initiate the swing, and so this whole triangle of hands, arms, and shoulders are moving back nicely together. You can see how the right forearm stays on top of the left as he moves away, and as a result the shaft is working right off the shaft plane, the club in the shaft. And you'll notice that his right shoulder turns up, his left shoulder turns down, so he can maintain a centered movement, centered swing, and that's a key ingredient in a good golf swing, in my opinion. The less lateral motion you have with your upper body, I think the easier it is for you to be able to initiate your downswing and get back on plane. So even though his arms look high right there, they're really just extended. If he stood straight up at his waist, his left arm is just right across his chest, and that's kind of the feeling you want to get. So let's watch and see what goes on with your swing here. And I'm going to get rid of these lines and redraw a couple of them. Alright, so remain the spine angle and pay attention to that. Alright, so your initial move away, you'll notice how you're trying to get your knees into a position where we'd probably like to see them start. So there's been a lot of inflection into extension in your first move away, and now you're opening up your gate for movement. Okay, I like the way that the club moves back. Your arms are swinging inside along with the body pivot, and the club is staying pretty much in front of you at this particular point, so that's pretty good. Ideally, keeping the extension of your right arm a little bit longer, I think, is going to give you more depth in your golf swing. That'd be something we could work on, but I do like the way the club is setting and hinging, and I like the way the left arm is working more across your chest. That's very good. Club face looks like it's matching up with your forearm position at the top, which basically is a squared position. Alright, as we begin our downswing, let's watch and see what happens here. Okay, there's the club starting to shallow, and you're doing a good job of moving laterally with the lower body that initiates that downswing. You're seeing the wrists are maintaining their cock position as your lower body, your hips start to slide to the forward side. And this is where I noticed you're kind of stalling out. Right about strike zone, you start releasing out a little bit early, and I think it's because the body motion stalls and waits for the club head to pass the hands. And so we're getting a lot of excessive hand action going on right here, which is going to make it difficult for you to keep the ball on line, and I think it's difficult to have a consistent bottom to your swing arc. At this particular point, you can hit the ground first, or swing into the middle of the ball, or not really get that good compression we want to get when our weight is more left and our hands are more in front of the club head as you strike the golf ball. Especially with an iron, you want to have that feeling. And you notice that as a result of that, casting, throwing motion right through the strike zone, how that momentum is causing you to kind of come up and out of your posture. And the more that you move through, the more you're going to come up and out of your posture with a shaft angle that's very high instead of rotating back around. We'll look at VJ, and you'll notice as he starts his downswing, he uses the legs the same way, but he's going to continue to press his hips forward as he moves through the shot, and in doing so he's able to keep that forward shaft lean, stay a little bit more in his posture, and then move through the strike the way he desires. You notice how his shaft is coming out more on his left shoulder. Ideally that's what we'd like to see, and he's able to stay in his posture just a little bit longer. So I think the key ingredient for you is in your, other than the setup position, is in your downswing. Feel like you continue to bump the hips laterally towards the target, and try to maintain the angle of your wrists a little bit longer, and until you get into your extension of your left side. And that's going to give you a better forward shaft lean. It'll take you into better rotation so that your arms follow your body pivot around, so they're ending up a little bit more over here. One of the examples I give people is try to feel like you move your hands and arm and club back around to the left, feeling like you're going to hit a hedge that's behind you, blowing around. That'll help you stay in and maintain that posture, and get a little bit more centered strike on the golf ball, and hopefully that is going to help you improve your technique. So if you have any questions, you can give me an email or a call. Email is brad@bradbrewer.com. And until next time, happy golfing.
Finding the proper distance away from the ball is very important. Let me help you out with that. I think it's key to make sure that you don't get your arms reaching too far away. If you do that, the tendency is to get the weight too much on the toes. If they get too close in, the tendency is you don't have room to swing it away and your weight gets on the heels. Let your arms hang down nice and relaxed at address. If you do that, it's much easier for you to take the club back in a good one-piece takeaway.